What if I told you that much of your life is run by invisible scripts? Rules and beliefs you inherited from your parents, your culture, and your education system, all without your conscious consent. Think about it for a moment. The path you're told to follow. Go to school, get good grades, find a safe job, get married, buy a house, and then, one day, retire. We are handed this map for life, and most of us follow it without ever asking if it leads to a destination we truly desire. This isn't a map to happiness. For many, it's a map to a quiet, comfortable life of regret. But there is another way. There is a code, a method for breaking free from these outdated instructions and writing your own. This is the central idea behind a truly remarkable book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, written by Vishen Lakhiani back in 2016. Vishen introduces us to the concept of the culturescape, this tangled web of human beliefs and norms that we are born into. It dictates our ideas about love, work, spirituality, and happiness. We absorb these ideas like a sponge, accepting them as absolute truths. The problem is, many of these truths are nothing more than outdated software, running on the hardware of your mind and leading you to a life that someone else designed for you. It's time for an upgrade. This book is a dare to look at the world, at your beliefs, and at the very definition of success, and to ask a simple yet powerful question. Does this still serve me? Imagine a young artist with a brilliant, unique vision. From a young age, well-meaning family and teachers tell her that art is a hobby, not a career. They tell her to be practical, to study business or law to find something stable. So, she follows their advice. She tucks her passion away, trading her paintbrush for a briefcase. She may achieve what society calls success, a good salary, a nice car. But a part of her soul remains unfulfilled, yearning for the vibrant colors she left behind. This story is all too common, a silent tragedy played out in millions of lives. This is the culturescape at work. It convinces us to trade our authentic dreams for a pale imitation of security, a life lived in grayscale instead of the brilliant technicolor we were meant for. The journey to an extraordinary life begins with the courage to question these inherited scripts. So how do we begin this process of rewriting our lives? Vishen gives us a powerful word for the invisible and often nonsensical rules we follow. He calls them brules. A brule is a bull rule that we adopt to simplify our understanding of the world. These are the shoulds and should nots that echo in our minds. You should be married by 30. You should climb the corporate ladder. You should not take risks with your career. These brules masquerade as wisdom, but in reality, they are chains. They limit our potential and prevent us from exploring the vast landscape of human possibility. The first step in breaking the code is to become a detective, to hunt down these brules in your own mind and expose them for what they are. Think about the world of business for a moment. For decades, the brule was that you had to work grueling 40-hour weeks, sacrificing your health and family life to be considered successful. People wore their burnout like a badge of honor. Then, a new generation of entrepreneurs and thinkers came along and questioned this. They asked, is this really necessary? Or is it just a tradition we follow blindly? They started building companies based on flexible hours, remote work, and a focus on results, not just time spent in a chair. They proved that you could build a wildly successful business and still have a rich, fulfilling personal life. They broke the brule, and in doing so, they created a new, better reality for themselves and their employees. The book shares a powerful quote that captures this idea perfectly. The most extraordinary people in the world today don't have a career. What they have is a mission. This cuts to the heart of so many brules about work and success. The old model tells us to find a job. The extraordinary model tells us to find a calling. A job is something you do for a paycheck. A mission is something that pulls you forward, something that fills you with purpose and energy, something you would do even if you weren't paid. When you shift your focus from seeking a career to fulfilling a mission, the brules about promotions, titles, and traditional paths become irrelevant. You are no longer climbing a ladder someone else built. You are forging your own path through the wilderness, guided by your own internal compass. To start this process, take out a piece of paper, write down your goals and dreams. Then, for each one, ask yourself, why do I want this? Keep asking why until you get to the root of your desire. Once you've identified the brules that are holding you back, what comes next? You can't just wish them away. This is where Vishen Lakhiani introduces a concept he calls consciousness engineering. This is the idea that your mind, your beliefs, and your habits are not fixed. They are systems, and like any system, they can be consciously and deliberately upgraded. Think of your mind as the operating system for your life. The Culturescape has installed all sorts of buggy, outdated programs onto it. Consciousness engineering is the process of uninstalling those old programs and installing new ones that are aligned with the life you want to create. It's a proactive, systematic approach to personal growth. This isn't just about positive thinking. Positive thinking is like painting over a rusty spot on a car. It looks better for a little while, but eventually the rust will eat through the paint. Consciousness engineering is about removing the rust entirely and replacing the metal. It's about changing the underlying structures of your beliefs from the inside out. Consider the story of Roger Bannister, the first man to run a mile in under 4 minutes. For decades, the prevailing belief, even among scientists and doctors, was that it was physically impossible for a human to do so. But Bannister didn't accept it. He trained, he visualized, and in 1954, he did the impossible. But here's the most fascinating part of the story. Once Bannister broke that barrier, dozens of other runners did it within the next few years. Did humanity suddenly get faster? No. The belief system changed, the impossible became possible, and a new reality was born. This is the power you hold within your own mind. You can engineer your consciousness to break your own 4-minute miles. Your reality is shaped by your models of it. We experience our interpretation of the world, filtered through our beliefs and ideas. If your model says, the world is dangerous, you'll see threats. If it says, the world is full of opportunity, you'll see possibilities. Many navigate life with outdated maps, showing dragons where there are islands of joy. Become a conscious cartographer, updating your maps to reflect possibility. The book introduces Blissapline, the marriage of bliss and discipline. Growth should bring you joy. Find happiness in practices that lead to growth. If you hate the treadmill, dance. When you find joy in the activity, your bliss will be your discipline. With your mind operating on new software, you're ready for the next level, bending reality. This means having a clear, compelling vision for your life, so the world conspires to make it happen. Shift from small goals to being pulled by an end goal, focusing on who you want to become and the impact you want to have. When you're clear on these end goals, opportunities appear unexpectedly. Cultivate a state of being that is truly extraordinary, being unfuckwithable. To be unfuckwithable is to be so centered and secure that nothing on the outside world can throw you off balance. This comes from knowing your happiness comes from within and trusting your vision. An extraordinary life is only complete with contribution. It's about using your energy to positively impact the world. Once you master your mind, you'll naturally ask, how can I help? Contribution can happen on any scale, from raising children with love to creating a positive work environment. A life of purpose channels your talents into something that benefits others, leaving the world a little better. We are all connected. Improving yourself uplifts everyone, enriching your life beyond material success. Shifting from what can I get to what can I give brings lasting joy. Decades from now, will you be most proud of your possessions or the lives you touched? Live a life of purpose, one that fills your heart with warmth. We've explored the principles of the code of the extraordinary mind, from questioning limiting beliefs to living with purpose. This is an invitation to stop living on autopilot and become the conscious architect of your life. Will you accept the invitation to build an extraordinary life? It starts with a courageous question and the decision to choose your own path. Dive deeper into these concepts with Vishen Lakhiani's book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. It's a manual for thriving in a changing world by mastering your inner state. I hope this has sparked your curiosity to explore your potential. If this message sparked something inside you, drop a comment below and tell me, what's one brulee you're ready to break? And if you want to dive deeper, I highly recommend reading the full book. I've linked it in the description. Go grab your copy and start your own quest today. You were not born to be average. You were born to be extraordinary. Now go rewrite the code. See you next time.